to the first ever West Coast Madden podcast. I am Shanegotyou11. Usually I will be doing this with a partner. Unfortunately, they had to work today, so I'm here on the debut of West Coast Madden podcast. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. This way you are notified for future events, future tips, future giveaways, and the future streams. I'm going to throw it out right now that the podcast will go live every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So set your watches, set your alarms, set your phones so you are notified of this podcast. Again, welcome to the West Coast Madden podcast. I am Shanegotyou11. So let's get into this event right away. Let's get into this first podcast. Let me break it down. I'm going to go over the title winners. If you guys have any questions, I will answer the questions at the end of the podcast. Definitely I'll do it at the end of the podcast. This is going to run for about an hour. It's between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific time. So wherever you're at, just go off the West Coast time. As this is, the West Coast Madden podcast. So I'm going to go over Madden 19 since Madden 19 basically is a wrap. I have been playing Madden 19 basically till today. Today will be my last day of doing Madden 19 because, as you know, I do money games and do all that fun stuff. So let's go over the title winners right now for Madden 19. In order, Skimbo won the Regs Madden Classic. That was after the tragedy in Jacksonville. Shout out to True Boy and Spot Me. What happened was a tragedy, obviously. So you got to give it a rest in peace to those two guys. Anyways, so the title winners were Skimbo. He won the Madden Regs Classic. Then Paven won the clubs. Kretobin won the challenge, and then Drini won the whole bowl. And to me, the most impressive guy still to me is Drini. I mean, since he's been able to play and qualify, he has handled business every year. It's really impressive. And then I would go off of Kretobin, man. I used to battle him with Gamer Saloon and all that good stuff. I mean, so he did it by himself with a couple helps with like Crush and Joe Rice. I mean, those guys were on Gamer Saloon. I battled with them. And then I think it's Paven or Pavon. Either way, I can't say his name, so I apologize. I'll go off with Paven. He won the clubs. That's really good. And Skibbo handled his business, and I know I will be hated for this, and I know this is like an unpopular opinion, but I will get to it at the end of this podcast. It's gonna be a pretty cool podcast, you guys. So shout out again. This is West Coast Madden podcast, hosted by Shanegotyou11. I'm supposed to have a co-host. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here. So set your times and watches and all that, whatever you got to do, alarm clocks, phones, write yourself on a notepad. I don't even know if people do that anymore. This West Coast Madden podcast will will be at 3 p.m. every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. It's debuting today, obviously. So let's go into wrapping up Madden 19. Wrapping up Madden 19, I didn't hate it like people hated it. I really didn't. I didn't have a problem with it like other people did. Like, I know some people were like, this is the worst Madden of all time. This could have been way better, whoop-de-whoop. I honestly thought Madden 18 was horrible. I thought Madden 18 was terrible, if you want to know the truth. I thought it was bad. I thought Madden 18 was horrible. I hated Madden 18. But Madden 19, there was a few things that I really, really hated that was really, really cheesy, especially if you're trying to be a competitive player and make the tournaments. the glitch kick where they would pooch it down to like the 3 or 4 yard line and you couldn't pick it up even as a user sometimes, and you'd either fall down on it or sometimes they'd get the fumble. That should have never, ever been in the game, especially when you're trying to sell this as money and try to sell this as competitive and try to sell this as a huge EA event. I couldn't stand it. It was horrible. It hurt me in the championship game against Kiv in Seattle Clubs online. I'm not saying I was going to win or lose, but it was terrible. I mean, he'll pooch it down to the 3-4 yard line, and then that would lead into the other thing I couldn't stand at the start of the year, and it was definitely the contain glitch. If you guys remember that, the contain glitch was basically you'd hit contain and you'd blitz and they'd come right in no matter what you were doing, no matter what you're trying to slide protect. And especially once people did the the little glitch kick off and start you at 3 and then they'd spam the contain glitch. I couldn't stand that at all. I hated it. It was really terrible, you guys. It was one of the worst things that they could have done, especially when you were trying to make money and you're trying to make this a huge event. So those were literally the couple things that I didn't like. I still would like the game to become more realistic and more real, and I understand that it's an arcade game. It's a video game. It'll never be like the real NFL, and it'll never be simulation that way. But I mean, there could be a few things that they could change. Like if people just sit in one defense and one offense repeatedly and run the same plays, they should make the computer AI get a little bit smarter. And don't get me started with, well, stop it. Well, learn it. There is a reason that all the professionals on Madden that made the live events were spamming contain glitch and scum kick. Yes, you adjust to it, and yes, you throw different blitzes out of the same defense, and yes, you hit zones and man coverage difference, but there is a reason that they use the same old plays, the same formation. They should allow the computer to get a little bit smart and be like, look, they're running Tampa 2, they're blitzing the linebacker, they're hiding the linebacker behind the other linebacker so you can't properly ID it. Like, they could make the game so much better. Or like all the pros did was spam bunch for most of the year. They spam bunch, and they do a fade streak with the slot receiver, and then a post route on the opposite side, and then the tight end might go in a flat. You might put the farthest outside receiver on the bunch side on a drag or a slant or an out route. But I mean, they are all basically running the same thing. And when it comes to Mutt, it was terrible. Like honestly, that was the first year for me. It was legitimately the first year for me, and I'll get into that more later down the road in this podcast. But they should never allow like 64 defensive linemen to work as good as 84 defensive linemen. They should never allow 64 offensive linemen to block as good as a 90 offensive lineman. You have to fix that. You have to be able to handle the game right. If you want the game to become more realistic like EA proclaims, and if you want to have it go in a better direction where more of the general public will even love it more because it's more realistic, make it so an 84 lineman blocks like an 84 lineman, a 64 lineman blocks like a 64 lineman, and vice versa on defense as well. Like, I mean, they were putting Shaquem Griffin, who was like, I believe, a 67 at linebacker, and just spamming him to blitz. And he'd get in so fast. No, bro, he's not even that good. He's not even that good. If he's the 80 version, okay. But for Madden 19, honestly, I loved the run game. I enjoyed it. I felt like it took more stick work to be good at the run game than in Madden 18 for sure. Now, don't get me wrong. I hated when like I'd try to use her I was user it, and they do a move, and I knew they were cutting back in, and I tried to cut back, and it went into that stupid animation where they had me fall down. I hated that. But for overall, I loved the run game. I loved the user it, and I felt like the motion of the game was pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong, towards the end of the year where everybody knows everything, and they're just spamming the same 3-4 plays, it gets really boring. It gets really boring after a while, and that's why it gets so fresh when a new game comes out. Obviously. And like I said, this was my first legit year in MUT. It was a big learning experience for me, let me tell you. So I didn't spend any money on buying packs or anything. I just kind of played, and then, like, you know, when you like win some games, you get coins and all that. But later on down the road, from a couple pros that didn't want to be on this podcast because they don't want to talk about the game, which, I mean, you think they'd want to because it helped the community out, but they talked to me. They said you have to spend money, that most pros spend between $200 and $800. Yeah, you heard me, between $200 and $800 on buying packs and setting up their chemistries and setting up their uniforms and stadiums and all that. I didn't know any of that. And you know, I did Seattle clubs. I knew Kiv would be in there. I knew Killer Mike would be in there. I've played both of them in the past. When I played Killer Mike and Regs for money, I was 3-0 against him. I was a third-ranked Seattle club member behind Killer Mike and Kiv. And I lost to Killer Mike in the group stage that would have gave me the #1 seed, where I wouldn't have had to play Kiv until the live event. And I basically lost on the last play of the game because I rolled out with Vic, and I think he was the 87 Vic at the time, and I threw a bullet pass into the end zone with no time left to Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek was like the 80 version, and it went through his hands, and that's how I lost. And it was a tough loss, man, and it was what it was. Like, I had a bunch of like 80s, and my highest guy was 89 Barry Sanders. And, I mean, I was going against, like, Killer Mike. He had, I believe at the time, the 94 Calvin Johnson and the 91 Matt Stafford and another 93 guy. So, you know, it was a big learning experience. And then I had a hell game. I had a Final Four game. I was up 4. The guy got down to my 3-yard line, and I had the biggest goal line stand that you could ask for. I mean, shut him down first, second, third, and fourth down. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. My blood drained so completely out of my body. I felt faint. Like that was like, that's nerve-wracking. And then lo and behold, I had to play Kiv. A couple hours later, I found out later from a guy that was in their party that they were watching the stream between myself and the other guy had streamed it, and Kiv had told me that his power went out for the next hour. But what I found out later from the guy who was in the party chat with him and Serious Mo and Crush, and I don't know if Problem was in there. I think he said that, but I don't believe Problem has PS4, but I found out I guess he did. I guess they were labbing my plays, but that's whatever. If you execute right, you win. And I mean, like I said, he had 94, 93 guys. My highest guy was an 89, and he beat me, man. And a couple plays went here and there, and then he blew me out. That's what good players do. So congrats to him. I appreciate that. I appreciate people being in this chat. I do it a little bit different. I'm going to do a little bit different podcast. I won't really be answering questions until the very end. So if anybody has any questions, I'll do it at the very end, probably in the last 10 minutes. But yeah, so I lost in an online championship game to Kiv in clubs. Then I did MUT Draft. In MUT Draft, I made the tournament. I did everything that I really asked for. I kept a log of my playbook record. So every playbook I used, I kept what my record was. And yes, sometimes you get better players and worse players in MUT draft. I understand that. So that's why I did the whole record of the playbook over the whole year. And lo and behold, my MUT draft, my 3 playbooks were the 3 worst playbooks I had. I ended up losing to AO. I mean, me and him are cool. Congrats to him. The one play that really bugged me is when it was a tie game, late to go in the game. I went for it on 4th down, I believe at his 45. I had a wide open guy. I threw it to him, and my guy didn't respond and just sailed over his head, and he ended up winning, I believe, 14-7. But I mean, it's a good experience. And then I tried to do last chance qualifier. I ended up with 42nd ranked. And I didn't have any 99 players, you guys. I was battling against 99 players. And it sounds like excuses, and it's not supposed to be that. It's not that at all. Like, it is what it is. Be better. Buy your packs. Grind. And if I make a live event, I won't have to do money games anymore for the year. So that's the goal. But a nice guy that I played later on in the year, he explained to me that if you change your uniforms or visuals and stuff, something like that, change your uniforms, you improve your zone coverage or man coverage or catching ability. I didn't know any of that. So when I was going in to salary cap clubs, I didn't know that if you changed your uniforms, you'd get points for zone coverage, man coverage, or catching, whichever one you wanted. I didn't know that, you guys. Just like I didn't spend money on chemistry. So that was all a learning experience that hopefully in Madden 20 I can facilitate and be good at. And that's something that you guys need to learn too if you don't know that. Changing your uniforms gets you extra chem. You can change your visual back to the team you like, but I didn't know that. But overall, you know what? It was a fun experience, and I love the grind. I love playing against the top guys. I mean, I played Joel CP. That guy is funny. I'll be nice and say funny. I blew him out of the waters, and then I tried to be nice on his channel, and just when he was playing a game, and he freaked out and told me I was trash. I mean, a lot of the community is kind of immature. A lot of backstabbing, a lot of immature people. But then at the same time, there's a couple cool people, man. Like D Jones was super cool to me. 6 Cents, he's been cool to me. AO's been cool to me. Ty Eagle's been cool to me. Soul Crush has been good to me. There's some cool people, but there's also a lot of immaturity in this community. The main thing that I struggled on in MUT was I didn't spend enough money for great packs. I didn't have enough coins. I didn't level up enough. I didn't do any of that stuff. And that's one thing I struggled with. I didn't understand it. Like, I prefer regs. I prefer regs over MUT. I still do. Now, when I got the Madden 20 beta, you guys, I enjoyed it. I thought I think Madden 20 beta was way better than Madden 19 beta. I really did. I felt like the passing was better. The deep ball, they wanted to take away the deep ball, you guys. They wanted the deep ball gone. Like where people, because all the pros were doing the fade streak and the deep post and the deep out route over and over and over. So they made the deep ball really hard, a little bit too hard in my opinion. If they toned it down a little, let a little more deep plays happen, I'd be cool. Not like Madden 19, but like just tone down Madden 20 deep ball just a little bit to allow you to have a little bit more deep balls once in a while. I'd love it. I don't have a problem with the deep windup. They don't want people just to be like hike, deep post, deep corner route, deep streak over and over and over and over again. They're trying to make it a little bit more realistic. So I enjoyed that they're trying to make it more realistic. Not every team hikes the ball, says, "Okay, go out on a post route, go out on a corner route, and go on a fade streak." Every play. They don't. It never worked in the game in NFL. So they are trying to make it a little bit more realistic. The pass rush is crazy, you guys. The pass rush, ooh-wee, let me tell you, for the people that haven't played it or didn't get the EA access, which I didn't do the EA access, you guys. I mean, I'm gonna be gone this whole weekend, so I don't care to pay for the EA access. And the next Monday, I will be doing Madden 20, the game. It'll be downloaded and all that good stuff. But the pass rush is legit. Four-man rush is going to be legit. The couple things that I didn't care about is the RPO is a little bit OP, and the run game reminds me of Madden 18. So, like, if you have a Todd Gurley and he's awesome, and then you have, like, Patrick Mahomes as QB and as wide receiver, you have OBJ, let's say. It's really overpowered right away to start the year. RPO is really overpowered, and the run game is Madden 18 toned down version. It's not as bad as Madden 18 where everybody was a good runner, but it's still easier to run than this year, in my opinion. I think the popular plays, you guys, for Madden 20 right away is going to be the RPO, run game, and short passes. But what I was told and what I heard from EA is that they're going to patch the game August 2nd because there's still some leakage that is out there, even though they're allowed people to play it if you spend EA access. I don't agree with that by EA. They've got to clean themselves up, but like people say, they don't have a rival with Madden. I mean, I don't have as big of a problem with EA as people do in general. I wish they paid more for people. Like, even if you, like, because I was watching Twitter, you guys, and people that I've never heard of that didn't make the tournaments, that do it for fun, some of them opened 5,000 to 9,000 packs. You know how much money and grind that takes? You can pay out a little bit more is all I'm saying. So EA could pay out a little bit more, but I think the popular plays against, especially like a four-man rush, are to start the year is gonna be RPO and quick passes. We'll see how the August 2nd patch changes up everything. I think that they're gonna fix the windup for the QBs. In my opinion, the pros are already complaining about a couple things. They're complaining about the windup, which I don't really have that big of a problem with. The deep ball, I don't really have that big of a problem either because not a lot of teams just throw the deep ball all game. But the thing I do agree with is the button switch up. They revamped the whole hot route thing on defense. So, like, when you used to do R1 on the PS4 on Madden 19 to change up the linebackers, it's not there anymore. It's the D-pad. Everything's changed. People are complaining about that. I don't know if they will fix it or not. I doubt they will. They might just go back to it after this year, kind of like the QB Vision, if you guys remember that. I think that was Madden 18 where they said, oh, the best players ever will be running the QB Vision. And guess what? Not one pro did the QB Vision. Not one. QB Vision was gone. Just like I think that they'll revamp the hot routing back to how it usually is next year. But they're trying to make it where there's so many hot routes. They don't want people to do the same plays over and over and the same routes. They know the game gets boring for most people in the general public. Some of the things that I liked about Madden 20 that I was playing it was the feeling of the game. It felt a little bit more realistic. I liked the quick passing and the medium strikes. If you made a good read, it was really good. What I didn't like, honestly, I don't like how they kind of dumb down the usering on defense. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, well, I don't like it that you can jump 10, 15 yards in the air to pick off the ball. That's fair. That's fair. I agree. But the problem is, if you take that away, it's going to be a 45-38 game, and all it's going to be is hope to get one stop. And that's not real football. Yeah, there's an outlier of every game, like the Rams and Chiefs last year, where they scored a bunch of points. I think it was like 50-something to 40-something. But most games are still 31-24 or something like that. It's not all in the 50s and everything. So I don't like it that they dumb down the user, because that's what I really rely on in Madden is my user. And just so you guys know, this is the West Coast Madden podcast. I am doing it solo today. I am supposed to have a co-host, Trey, but unfortunately he didn't make it. So again, this is West Coast Madden podcast, debut July 25th, 2019. I will be here every Thursday at 3 p.m. Hopefully I have my co-host. If not, I'll be doing this solo. And if I'm doing it solo, I'll make sure that there will be more people that I can do interviews with at the end. If you guys like that, let me know. And also remember, you guys, every Monday morning I will be putting out a weekly tip. Starting July 29th to April 1st. There will be one free weekly tip on Monday morning. All I ask you guys to do is pass my channel along. Subscribe, help a brother out. But every Monday you will be getting a new free tip from me until April 1st. Now I want you guys to know that there's going to be a 1,000,000 coin giveaway to a subscriber at the end of the NFL regular season who has the best record from all the Monday Night NFL picks that you must do. You must be signed up to the Twitter account. Unfortunately, right now, I asked my co-host if he could email me the Twitter handle, and I didn't get it. So I don't know it exactly, and obviously he isn't here. But basically, to sum it up, is every Monday night is an NFL game. You pick the score, you pick who you think's going to win, and you send it into the Twitter account. But you have to be a subscriber to this channel. And you send it to the Twitter account, and by the end of the year, by the end of the regular NFL season, so I think it's end of December, early January, sometime around that, if you have the best record, you will get 1,000,000 coins. Either if you're on Xbox or PS4, you'll get the 1,000,000 coins. If you don't have Madden 20, but you just enjoy watching Madden 20, listening about Madden 20, or hell, let's just be honest, you just want to sub to me and watch the streams and watch me cry and rage out or win and be happy, or, you know, just watch and hang out with the group, but you don't have Madden 20, we will make it work on sending you guys gift card to the equivalent of the 1,000,000 coins. So if the 1,000,000 coins at that time was worth $50, we'll give you a $50 gift card. So that's how that will work. So that's pretty exciting. There will also be holiday giveaways that we're planning on doing as well for money. But you have to be a subscriber, you guys. You have to be able to be available as well to receive the payment. So I am going to break it down right now. My unpopular opinion. Dun 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 dun. My unpopular opinions. I have a couple of unpopular opinions. Problem. I know if people hear this, I am going to get hated on. I'm going to become the villain. I don't think he's the GOAT. I'm just going to flat out say it. I don't think he's the GOAT. I don't think he's the best player of all time. I don't. I think he's a big fish in the little pond. He hasn't won a title since 2014. Every year he says, I'm going to show you guys I'm going to win a title. And he hasn't. When he was a big fish in the little pond, he housed people. No. Don't get me wrong. Is he very good? Is he elite? Is he still the top 1%? Yes. That'd be silly not to say. But I don't think he's a GOAT. Since the MCS era, since everybody has played, and everybody is playing, and more people are playing, excuse me, he has 0 titles. I think his best placing was 2nd place when he lost to Skimbo, which is great, which I would take in a heartbeat. If they said, hey, Shanegotyou11, if you're going to make the live event, you're going to get 8th place, 4th place, 2nd place, 7th place, and never win a chip, I'd take it in a heartbeat. I would take it in a heartbeat, guys. So I am not saying that I wouldn't trade places with his tournament finishes. But to call him the GOAT, you have to be able to win in the MCS era. There wasn't that many people. Like, even my 2013 live event when it was regs, it was Problem who won it all, and like a couple other good guys. But there wasn't that many good players out there. And I made live. I could talk myself up and be like, yeah, there was a lot of great players out there, man. There was a lot of pros out there, and I just handled business. No, because this Shanegotyou11 would smack the hell out of 2013 Shanegotyou11. I would beat the brakes off it, and it is hell to try to make a live event now. So do I think Problem is the greatest of all time? No. No, I don't. If he wins a couple more chips, all right, we can have that conversation. But he was a big fish in the small pond, and I'm okay with that. If they said, hey, Shanegotyou11, you were a big fish in the small pond, I would say, yep. But I made all that money, dog. Ooh-wee. And now I have a bunch of younger crew members that are winning chips. And I am just sitting back, lavishing, making money. I got the movement. I got this. I got that. That's what I'd say. That's what I would say. A person who is one of the best Madden players of all time, I'll give him that. He is one of the best Madden players of all time. But is he the GOAT? No. Absolutely not. I don't even think you can say there's a GOAT right now. To be fair, since this is blown up, since they used to just use the green screen in Madden 16, and then once they put McDonald's as the background, I knew it was going to blow up. Since Madden 16 on, that's when you got to see how this is taken off, how this blows up. So in 2028, if Skibbo has 6 championships, Dreeny has 8, Problem has like 1 or 2 MCS, so he has like 6 for total. Yeah, he's one of the greatest of all times. But to me, the MCS era, so starting 2016, I believe, I think that is the hardest era because there's way better players, way more crews. It is way more serious. Like, look at 2013. I wasn't even a player that played all the time. Virgin Gaming, $140,000 for the first place winner. I signed up. I had to win 2 games online to make the live event in Vegas. I'll remember it to this day. The first guy didn't show up. I got a bye win. I'll take it. I don't care. Yeah, but you didn't play. You didn't beat anyone. Great. 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 I don't care. So I was in the online championship game. Guy's driving down. He's down 4. I'm like, damn. He has all the momentum. I hit sticking with Patrick Willis, who was on the 49ers at the time, because 49ers in 2013 were the popular team to use. He fumbled. I picked it up. I made a live event. I went to Vegas. I decided to use the Seahawks because my friends and family were like, yeah, use the Seahawks. That's your team. Whoop-de-whoop. I lost on the 1-yard line. So I was like, Nostradamus, man. I predicted the loss on the 1-yard line. I didn't throw a pick. I just threw it over the fucking guy's head. Pardon my language. I should have used the 49ers, but I didn't. I ended up playing that guy later that year because I think it was in like October, November. I kind of got serious because like, oh, this is fun. Live events are fun. And I beat his ass. Then I stopped playing for a couple years. You guys would be honest. Job took me somewhere else. I came back in Madden 16, signed up on Gamer Saloon. I started beating these guys, and I'd never heard of them. I'd never heard of Serious Mo. I'd never heard of Hollywood. I didn't know any of these guys. And I kept getting second places to Prime and Skimbo, which were a crew. Prime, Skimbo, Schemin', and I'm probably missing one other. I don't really care. I was handling business, and they didn't like it. A lot of them didn't like it. I mean, to be honest, unpopular opinion again. They aren't how they seem online or in person on TV. There's a lot of clicks. There's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of rude talk, and you either get chewed up and eaten, or you fight back. And I took the latter, and I fought back, and that's why I handle my own. I don't have a crew. I have a guy I lab with in Soul Crusher, a couple other guys that I talk to, but I'm not in the whole like high school clique. And I understand they're younger, but I mean Skimbo's not young. Neither is Mo. They're not that young to me. But I mean, it is what it is. But the unpopular opinion number one, that if people play this podcast later, I don't think Problem is a GOAT. I don't think you have a GOAT right now. He was a big fish in a little pond, and it helped make him have a nice business. And I would take that in a heartbeat. I'm not saying that I wouldn't take it in a heartbeat. I am just saying that there wasn't as deep of a pool as there is now. There is a huge pool. There is a variety of players. The Shanegotyou11 of 2013 would not sniff a live event now. I wouldn't even be close. That 2013 Shane would get ran. Like, I mean, I would have gotten my pockets ran. Like, I would have lost so much money on GamerSoon, PayPal, Cash App. I was just an average player. So all I'm saying is it wouldn't be the same. It's not the same. Problem ran pockets. Problem is still an elite player. But is he the greatest of all time? No, stop. Stop with it, please. In 10 years from now, if this is still bumping and this is still huge and it still grows and he adds chips, he adds titles, and he has more titles overall than other people, then he is the greatest of all time until somebody passes him in chips. Dreeny's a bad young player. And by saying bad young player, I mean he is dope. He is good. He handles his business. I've never had a problem when I've conversated with him. Skimbo. Skimbo's damn good. I'm going to give Skimbo his props. I think he's won 4 titles in the MCS era. That's big balling. That's why he's hanging out with NFL players. Because you're balling. Kiv's balling. But they all have MCS titles. Now, you can luck your way into one. And don't get me wrong. Is it luck or is it skill? It's both. You have to be good. You have to be great, I mean. But luck plays a big part. Luck helps you out. There are times that I've been in tournaments that I've hit stick the dude. He has fumbled. It's bounced forward, and his guy jumps on it in the end zone. There are times that I throw the ball. I should have gotten picked off. It bounces off his hands. He drops it. I throw the touchdown the next play, and I win. So it makes a lot of sense that a person who wins a title, just one title in MCS era, is he elite? Hell yes. But does luck help? Yes. People who just say that it's all skilled, no luck, that's the ego in them, in themselves talking. It's the ego. I have the ego. How dare somebody say that I'm not that good? But that's the ego in me talking. Have I made a live event since the MCS era? No. Is this going to be my second year trying to make it in the MCS era? Yes. Am I very good? Yes. Am I elite? No. But my ego says, Shanegotyou11, you are damn good, and you can play against anybody and beat anybody. But the facts are the facts, and the reality is the reality. Am I very good at money games? Yes. Am I one of the better players out there? Yes. Have I beaten pro players? Yes, yes. Check, 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 check. But have I made a live event since the MCS era started? Not when it was Problem and whoever else, and then a bunch of sucky players in 2013. I'm talking about the current era. No. Now, Madden 16, would I have made it if Skimbo and Kiv would have helped me out, or not Kiv, Skimbo and Serious Mo would have helped me out and told me about it, or Scheming, but they didn't tell me about it. I beat Serious Mo in Madden 16 in a tournament on Gamer Saloon to go to the finals. He ended up beating Skimbo in the championship in the MCS title, but I didn't know about it. And then Madden 17, Madden 18, I didn't have the time to try to grind that. I didn't really care about it, really. But, like I said, the reality is the reality, and you don't see my face live. So it is what it is. Yeah, but Shane, you made that stop. Yeah, but Shane, you make my... Stop. Am I very good? Yes. Am I elite? No. Not till I make it. Not till I make another live event. Is Problem the GOAT? No. Not till he has a couple chips in the MCS era. Does he have an amazing business and a bunch of young pups underneath him that down the road when he is Grandpa Problem, he might have a huge business? Yes. And I'd take it in a heartbeat. Who wouldn't? That's dumb. Unpopular opinion number 2. You need to have a pro crew to consistently make live events. That is true. That is true. Can you luck out like the D Jones and make a live event? Yep. But did he sustain it? Nope. You can luck into it. You can break into it. But can you sustain it without a pro crew? No. That's unpopular opinion. Here's why. Kiv was very good in Madden 17, I believe. Right before he got big. He got a crew. He made a live event. And he's been at a live event ever since. Number 2. Crush and Joe Rice and Krotobin were nobodies on the live events. They were Gamerson people like me that were very, very good. They all crew up. They crew up with a couple others. Now they're at live events. Skimbo. Skimbo had a pro crew. He wins chips. Name me one freaking player that's good that made it all by himself consistently. You can't name one consistently that makes it without a pro crew. This is my ego talking, so excuse me. But if you give me a Skimbo, a Kiv, a Mo, a Pavon, or Paven, whatever, I make a live event. And I make live events consistently. Do I win chips? Maybe. Maybe not. But I make a live event. I do this basically with just one other person. And we don't lab as much as those other guys do. So if you give me 8 or 9 other pro players, I would be at a live event. I made online championship games with just, like I said, one other person. So, unpopular opinion, you need pro crew members to help you get to a live event. You will not sustain live events without a pro crew. Now, the other unpopular opinion, and then I'm going to get to the chat. I'm going to answer some of the questions on the chat. If you got questions, shoot them my way really quick for the last 13 minutes. Another unpopular opinion. The community isn't as good as they try to proclaim. The community is cancerous a lot of the times, and the community is bully mentality. They make fun of you for how old you are, if you're older, or if you're too young. They make fun of you. Look, if I'm 45 and I'm making bank off of Madden, I don't care if I'm 45. Tell me I have to work an office job because I'm 45, but if I'm making $60,000, $70,000 a year, working half the year because I'm 45, I have to grow up? What? You must be smoking something. If you're 16, 17, 18, and you're balling, and they say you better go to college, what? You must be smoking. But a lot of the community likes to talk crap to people that are older doing this. We're here before you. We're here before you, so I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all sound crazy as hell sometimes. Now, I'm going to go to the questions, so shoot out the questions for the last, 8 minutes. Remember, this is West Coast Madden Podcast. I'm Shanegotyou11. It'll be every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. Hopefully, Trey can make it next week. Remember, also starting July 29th, every Monday morning after July 29th, so the following week, I will be putting weekly tips out on Monday mornings, so remember that. Yeah, I do. Dreeny, I understand why Top Madden was mad because they, excuse me, they built him up. They built Dreeny up, to be honest, Trey. They built him up, and then right when he got to the top and he was big and he realized he didn't need him anymore, he cut ties. Right or wrong? I mean, my loyalty, I probably wouldn't have left. But as a business venture and knowing that, he can make more money than being the understudy of, Problem, who he probably thinks he's better than. And in the MC era, he is. Well, that's how it is. That's how it goes. Business-wise, he did it smart. Just like I think a lot of people will be leaving. A lot of people are venturing out, like Skibbo. I Needed Gaming or whatever. He might be still part of it, but he signed with Lazarus or whatever their name is, and he's wearing their gear now. So you gotta venture out, yes. Like me and my guy that I lab with, Soul Crusher. I still help him no matter what, but if the Seahawks were like, hey, Shanegotyou11, I'm gonna sign you as the spokesman of gaming, I'd sign with them. Obviously, they'd probably go with Kiv, but you know what I mean. Did I get EA access to play Madden 20? No, I didn't. The main reason why is I played the beta enough times. I know it's basically going to be like the first month. And like I said, I'm going to be gone Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to the beach. So, you know, I don't need to really play it again. I'm not going to play Madden 20 until it comes out on Monday night. And then it's on and it's on. You know what I mean? So, no, I did not play Madden 20 on the EA Access. Another thing that kind of turned me off was EA said that they're going to do a huge patch, they said, on August 2nd because some of the stuff is not complete yet. Ooh, that's a good question. So the question is, how would you rate the gameplay of Madden 20 on a scale of 1 to 10 so far, and what's the biggest thing they need to improve on? I actually right now love Madden 20. I would say the gameplay is a 9. I would say that they made the run game a little too easy, and the RPO is a little bit overpowered. And with the deep ball, I like it that they made it that the deep ball is not just every play. But if they tone down how hard it is to just a little bit less, I would like it. So if they made the deep ball a little easier, I'd be happy with it. The biggest thing they need to improve on is I don't know how much I like the X Factor. I don't know how much the kicking, or excuse me, I don't. Damn, I just forgot what I said because I saw the other question. Excuse me, I apologize. I really forgot what I was going to say. That's horrible, you guys. I apologize. I completely forgot what I was saying because I saw the question come up and I completely lost my train of thought. I don't really have a oh, the X Factor, excuse me, the X Factor. I don't really know if I like it that much because like in the game, it was like random. Like I know they're like, well, if you make these plays, the X Factor blows up. And that's cool, but like at times, like the guy didn't even do a good play, and all of a sudden Aaron Donald with X Factor would like blow up like he's part of the X-Man. He'd knock down 2 of my linemen and go tackle me, or like Mahomes would just start like flashing and he'd be godlike. The kicking game, Matt, is pretty similar to Madden 19. I mean, I'll put a video out on that, but basically the kicking game is roughly the same. Am I going to be doing a stream when the pre-order comes out? Yes. So when it comes out at 9 p.m. Pacific time on July 29th, which is my birthday, I should be home about 9:30 or 10 p.m. Pacific time. I will live stream it. I will do the MUT packs and all that stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna try. I got $100 from Matt on helping, so shout out to Matt. Also, I'm gonna spend maybe 100 or 200 more on a credit card, honestly, because I've talked to pros and they've said that they've already spent $300 to $500. Yeah, the sky kick doesn't work anymore, but the scum kick doesn't work either. So the squib kick is weird too. It's totally different. You know, Brady They're really trying to make non-mobile QBs very good again. And I like it. I like it that they're making, like, a Tom Brady is better to me than a Patrick Mahomes. Wait, what? Yeah, because he's done it for years. Mahomes did it for 1 year. If Mahomes does it again this year, then oh man, he might be like amazing. He might be the GOAT if he wins chips down the road. But yeah, well, Trey, it's because they got that first read where if you get Brady hot, which I did when I did the beta and I used Brady and I got him hot, I dotted. I mean I was dotting all over the field, short to medium routes. I mean, everybody's gonna do the same thing. You know, to be honest, I have a couple playbooks that I think I'm gonna like. I'm not gonna say it on this podcast, so I'm not gonna say it online. But I mean, I'm not really worried about Siwoo W. It's whatever. Like I said, on this podcast, we will open it up to the stream in the last 10 to 15 minutes, give or take if there's enough people here. But for the first 45 minutes, I'm going to handle it like it's a podcast. And we're going to go over the topics we talk about. If Trey's with me, then both of us will do it. Oh, Trey, yes. RPOs will be a part of my scheme. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And trust me, I was really good at those kind of plays, not necessarily RPOs in the past. So, I mean, this will just help me even more. I'm going to try to suffocate you on defense still. I'm nervous about the user, but I didn't really see that big of a difference on user during the beta. But people are crying about it, but I don't think people have that great of users anyways. If you guys want to send me 2 more questions before I wrap it up. I'll answer 2 more questions before we wrap up the debut West Coast Madden podcast. Yes, Matt, you are getting better, bro. But the user's a little bit different now. They're saying that you won't be able to jump 15 yards in the air. Whoop-de-whoop. But, like, in the same sense for me, it's like, I liked it because I felt like they always try to make the offense easier. And that's how I feel. I mean, but it's going to be a lot of RPO to start the year. Hopefully, you know, I'm gonna wrap this up, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the first ever West Coast Madden podcast. I mean, I'm Shanegotyou11. Remember the million coin giveaway. It'll be every Monday night. You have to pick the right team and score that you think is going to win in the NFL game. And the person with the best record at the end of NFL regular season will get the million coins to either their PS4 or Xbox. If you don't have Madden 20 at all, but you just like being part of games and stuff, and you're a subscriber, we will send you a gift card of whatever you want to the equivalent of that price of the million coins of that time. Remember, every Monday morning, once Madden 20 is out, you will have a free tip from me, and it will run till April 1st. So anyways, you guys, I appreciate the people that checked in and hung out for a little bit. It wasn't as busy as I hoped it was, but that's fine. You got to make a name for yourself. We will see you here at the same time, 3 p.m. Pacific time, next Thursday. Thanks for appearing and listening to the West Coast Madden podcast. I am Shanegotyou11. Thank you very much, you guys. Have a good day. Be safe out there.